Shawshank Redemption. That's the name of the movie I was thinking of earlier. Not important, but that was it.
Okay, so we are back, prepping to play the Alan Wake DLC. But before that, I want to...
Director Hayden did a fine job handling this, especially considering how new she is.
Thank you.
I suppose, but the hiss are still all over the bureau. When is she gonna get them out?
I'm sure she's working on it. It wouldn't kill you to admit she's doing a good job.
You know, I could use some help too. I'm just one woman. But anyway, before we get to the DLC stuff, there are two things I want to check out. The first is I heard that if we go to the HRA lab, then Jesse has a special line of dialogue. And second, I just want to...
Clean out every last hiss with one thorough sweep, room by room. But if there's a building shift that even one get behind our line. Fuck, this place is a pain in the ass sometimes.
What I was going to say is I also want to check the nostalgia sector, or wherever it was, to see if there actually is anything there, or if there isn't really... It's not a real location, it was just a battle arena spot. We can check out Jesse's cool director outfit. I don't like it as much though, so I'm gonna switch to Urban Response, which is actually my favorite of the outfits. I thought it was gonna be the asynchronous suit, but I don't know, something about this one just feels really comfortable, I guess. Kill enemies with headshots. Kill maintenance. Executive. I don't know, it feels like I don't really have to do any of this because I am pretty fine with what I have. I'll just, maybe I'll fill out the shield stuff first, because I don't really use C's that much, and yeah, I'm not gonna put stuff in just to have it at this point. I mean, that kind of feels like what I'm doing with the rest of this tree, because I have everything that I want. I'll wait for that then. I don't have to spend any more points. No more weapon forms. I did look up that, what was it, Surge? The last one is a DLC specific weapon form, so that's why it hasn't shown up this whole time. Let's check with everybody first.
Where are the files on parasitic entities I asked for?
I found a couple of files in Dr. Clark's. I'd have to dig through the archives for the rest, but I'm not going through the Panopticon. Not with the altered items loose.
What? I got them
Then
back.
go see if any ranger squads are available for a file retrieval mission. Jesse, good to see you. We've got Dylan situated in his containment cell like you asked. I've got medical staff running tests as we speak, and I'd be happy to walk you through the details later. Other than that, what's next?
With the slide projector turned off, the hiss are shut out, but we're stuck with the ones already here. We can't lift the lockdown until they're all eradicated. If any hiss ever got out, that would be the end of everything.
Well, eliminating them all will take time. Look, I'll do what I can on my end, but my research is progressing slower than I'd like.
I think I can help with that. I am making you the head of research, effective immediately. I want you to use everything the Bureau has, every resource, every confidential scrap of data, and find a way to keep the hiss out for good.
That's... Really? I mean, yes, I can certainly... Yes! Yes, I accept.
You'll do great. Besides, I didn't really have anyone else lined up.
I'm honored, Jesse, really. Thank you.
Congrats. Does she have anything else to say?
I've looked through the docs we found in Dimensional Research. That slide projector is extremely powerful. You were right to shut it down.
How do you feel about me taking over as director?
You act like it just happened. You've been director since we first met, remember? I'm still thrilled. Nothing's changed. Not for me. But the Bureau has changed. Trench and Darling are gone. Their knowledge, anything not written down, disappeared with them. They knew the Bureau better than anyone.
They're the Bureau's past, Emily. We won't operate like they did. We'll learn from their mistakes. We'll be better than they ever were. We won't ever be like them. Well, I've got a Bureau to run. See you soon.
Yes, ma'am, Director Faden.
I don't know if I've just never noticed
Please,
it.
Emily. Not even as a joke.
I don't know if I've never noticed it before, but the ambiance here is just so loud. I'm gonna see if fast traveling away from here might do something. Because it is, like, sheesh. I feel like it's drowning out Jesse and Emily when they were talking.
Hi, Jesse.
This feels better.
When the hiss got into my head, I saw some weird things. I think Darling even spoke to me. Does that make any sense to you?
Empirically, no, but phantom voices as well as hallucinatory states are not uncommon here. And considering the forces that Dr. Darling was working with, he could have been transferred to a different plane of consciousness, physically or otherwise.
And that doesn't upset you?
Oh, very. And the fact that he hid those forces from me, it's infuriating. But Darling's dream was always to look beyond our reality. This time he may have taken a step too far, but as long as his consciousness can perceive his surroundings, I'm sure he's loving it.
Maybe Darling was just trying to protect you from the darker side of his work.
Fuck that. I'm not a child. Like, don't just assume I'm gonna consider something morally repugnant.
Which it all was.
Which it all was, of course.
How was Dylan?
The same. I can't detect any his activity, but his physiology has certainly been altered by it. And I can't tell if his brain activity is genuine or simply the aftermath of the hiss, like spasms. Dylan could wake up tomorrow for all I know. I really can't say.
Then I just have to wait for him. That's fair. He waited a long time for me.
Don't worry. We'll be monitoring him round the clock. If he wakes up, we'll be ready. I don't mean that in a hostile way, just... well, you know.
I hear you. My brother isn't exactly popular around here. I hope one day he'll have the chance to change that.
Well, that seems like it'll be happening in Resonant. Yeah, so we know. She's like, oh, he could wake up tomorrow for all I know, but we know that he doesn't wake up for about 7 6, 7 years. And even then, you know, without knowing a ton about Resonant, just going off of the trailers, it looks like he isn't able to wake up on his own. Like, Jesse has to do something in order to pull him out of the coma. I'm definitely very interested in seeing how the hiss, like how the effect it had on him will still be present, I guess. How it will linger in Resonant, because I can't imagine like he wakes up and, you know, his body isn't changed in some way, and if not his body, then definitely his mind has like some scars from the hiss or something. So it'll be interesting to see whenever that game comes out.
So, there was a moment after Hedron died that I couldn't feel my powers. The hiss got into my head. Just for a moment.
So that explains the HRA outage. Before we knew what was happening, the hiss had us. They were in my head. I saw terrible things. I mean, I was about to go under forever when the hiss was pushed back. The HRAs had come back on. Dylan vanished afterwards, and we fought off the hiss that came after him. So if Hedron's death knocked out the HRAs, that means there must be a new local source for them to relay, which I'm guessing must be...
Me.
you. Hedron is dead, assuming that word even applies to a resonant-based life form. But whatever it awakened in you, the power you call Polaris, is still active. Or at least, that's what my instruments are telling me.
I don't think we're ever gonna understand all of this. And I'm okay with that. I'm just glad you're here with me.
That's good to know. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, honestly, I was a little bit confused about what exactly was going on with Hedron and Polaris. Ended up looking it up later, or like looking up Polaris in, or like the Control Wiki to see if there's any trivia on it or any other explanation, and it sounds like Darling at one point says Hedron was a catalyst, not actually all of Polaris, it was just a part of it. But I had for a long time been conflating the two. Like, I called Hedron Polaris because I assumed that they were the same thing. They're not. Polaris is like the bigger entity, and Hedron is a piece of it. And it seems that Hedron was like Emily said, Hedron was what enabled Jessie to have this piece of Polaris within her. And now that she's gone, or now that Hedron is gone, and Jessie has kind of realized her own power, I think, or come into her own, she is able to serve as the main source of Polaris's resonance, at least in this place, maybe the whole plane, I'm not sure. I assume so, but we don't really know, where else Polaris is. Has she gotten into this world before? Anything like that.
I found Dylan attacking the astral plane and the board. What was he hoping to accomplish?
Huh. Since they arrived, Hiss have been corrupting objects of power, which have an inherent link to the astral plane. Maybe their goal was to access the astral plane and the board itself.
That still doesn't tell us why.
His motives are a difficult thing to work out, but I have been digging through confidential files and noticed a strange gap in knowledge regarding the board. Looks like any data on them has either been deleted or was never gathered in the first place.
Then maybe it's time someone looked into that.
Maybe it is.
Wonder how powerful the board is. Because if the Hiss is trying to get to them and corrupt them, then they must have authority over other places, lots of other things, which I don't remember how much is mentioned in the Foundation DLC, which we'll get to after doing Alan's stuff. I've only seen it once, so going into it, a lot of it is probably going to be unfamiliar to me. But if I remember right, they play a significant part in the DLC. And even in order to start it, I have to go to the hotline chamber to talk to them. So hopefully we learn a little bit more.
Well, I've got a bureau to run. See you soon.
Yes, ma'am, Director Faden.
Please, Emily. Not even as a joke.
So what was the thing I just picked up? Variants and alterations. Analysis of Hiss Threat Part 5. Hiss corruption manifests in vastly different ways. Some hosts remain largely unchanged, while others are barely recognizable as human. What determines this level of alteration? Is it the duration of corruption? It could simply be an evolutionary process, each entity representing a stage of growth in an undiscovered linear progression leading towards... what? Additionally, Hiss entities possess various paranatural abilities. How have they achieved this? Do they gain them from corrupting objects of power? Have they corrupted a single, highly talented para-utilitarian and divided their access to paranatural abilities across a network of Hiss corrupted hosts? As a scientist, I am hindered by the sheer number of questions. It is difficult to identify where one should begin. What is the most pertinent question? How do we kill it? That seems like a good start. Refer to file redacted for full report. I kind of wonder if the resonant and control resonant refers to like super evolved Hiss entities, because it's always talked about as like Hiss resonance. Polaris has a resonance, Hedron has a resonance that Darling exposed himself to. So I feel like using the word resonant refers to one singular special entity. And it would make sense that by the time Dylan wakes up, the Hiss have, if they haven't been totally eradicated, they have evolved further and found ways of getting around maybe stuff like the HRAs, and any defenses that the FPC have put up since.
Any luck finding the armory?
None. Looks like it got shifted. We have rangers checking each sector.
Fuck, whose side is the house on? Alright, we'll keep teams looking. And post a watch on the old location just in case it shifts back. We need that fucking ammo.
Haven't we seen an armory somewhere?
I heard you closed the Hiss portal, or whatever it is we're calling it. And if we could just flush out the stragglers.
So, what's next for Simon Arish?
Well, first off, I'm banning all slide projectors. That's it. Seriously, though, we need to review our protocols. Research should not be making decisions that endanger the entire Bureau, fuck it, the entire fucking world, without some serious oversight.
I think Pope would agree. Certain people in the Bureau have been working in the shadows for too long.
And I'd like to make these HRAs part of the mandatory Bureau uniform. They're not stylish, but better safe than sorry.
I don't think anyone will complain. Not after this. What are your thoughts on me serving as director?
Well, I couldn't be more excited. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Trench was fine, but... well, you pulled us back from the brink, so... well, I'm honored to serve, man. I mean, fuck, shit. Faden. Sorry.
He'll get it one day. So, what's the situation in my bureau, Arish?
The situation is we are still up to our eyes in Hiss. Not to mention the months of repairs it's gonna take just to get this place up and running again.
But is it doable?
Of course it is. You just might need to tell some rangers to grab a wrench once they're done hunting Hiss.
Did anyone ever mention to you that Darling was using the slide projector?
Salvador never did, but I doubt he even knew. Look, I'm well aware that it's our job to study and contain the things that we don't understand, but some of the things that Darling did were way outside of our mission statement. Look, these things are not toys, and acting like they are is only ever gonna end one way. At least Pope seems to understand that.
Well, it's secure now. No one can reach it without my say-so.
But thank Christ for that.
Marshall's been missing for a while now. Any ideas where she could be?
The last time I saw her was in maintenance when I was leading the Rangers out of the Atlas. Yeah, I told her it wasn't safe, but she said she had to go check on something.
Did you ask where she was going?
Whew, Marshall is not the kind of person you question. Kind of intimidating, you know? But, she was by herself, if that helps at all.
Not really, but thanks. Hopefully she turns up.
I think she shows up in Foundation
I'll see you later.
DLC.
You know where I'll be.
Okay, since we are right here, this is where Nostalgia Department is. So let's see if there's actually anything going on over there. Shoot. Oh. Are there still more? Can you guys leave me alone? Okay. That doesn't look like anything. Oh man. I was hoping there would be like an actual department and stuff to read. Like it would turn back to normal after turning off the slide projector, but does not seem to be the case.
Darling is really gone.
That's what I'm saying. I heard something about him falling into a different dimension.
That sounds like a perfect way for a man of science to go. Godspeed, brave son of a bitch.
I just came back because they were talking about Darling. She said she heard something about him falling into another dimension. So rumors have traveled a bit fast. Now we are going to go to Central Research. And then after this, I'm going to go to, what is it? Containment, talk to Langston, and then that should be it. Nothing else keeping me from going to investigations.
You and Hedron were never one and the same. It helped Darling with the HRAs to slow the hiss down. And it helped me learn to tap into this power I had inside. You.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's the line. Helps clarify things as well. Makes Hedron kind of sound like the dynamic is as if Polaris was a god and Hedron was like an angel. just to Panopticon.
All this paranatural power contained in one place is a risk. Makes me wonder what other dangers are locked away inside the Bureau.
I would love to be able to go up to the upper floors, but I know that's not happening. I wonder how much the Bureau will be changed by Resonant, like how different has Jesse actually made it?
I'm worried about Alfred. Do either of you have cats?
I possess 2 canines.
Sir.
I am more of a reptile person.
Right. Hello, ma'am. I heard about your little tussle over in Nostalgia. So, good house cleaning and things will get back to normal, right? Right? I mean, are normal, anyway.
Can I get a situation report for the sector?
Whew, okay, we still have to perform a proper inventory of the cells. Lord knows how many altered items snuck out during all this. Staffing. We definitely lost some people. Gonna have to hit those college career fairs, am I right? Huh.
It's hard to imagine the FBC at job fairs.
The Hiss are still tearing up the place faster than we can fix it, but the containment sector is stable. Ish.
Considering the alternative, I'm happy with stable-ish. Any thoughts on me serving as director? I know it was a sudden change.
Oh, no complaints so far. Trench was all secrets, lots of meetings behind closed doors. You seem much more approachable. But if I can give you some advice, ma'am, keep a grip on who you are. I've been here a long time, and I don't know if it's the job or this place, but people change here, and not for the better.
I'll try to keep my head on straight.
It's probably both. I got the sense that Trench was happier being a normal agent, and once he became director, it was just downhill.
Will you stay on after things calm down, Langston?
Are you asking if I'm quitting? Oh, no, ma'am. I'm not having some mid-level agent make a mess of my Panopticon. Plus, I'm racking up serious overtime hours with this lockdown. Just don't take too long clearing out the Hiss. My cat gets separation anxiety.
I'll do what I can.
He must have gotten a pet sitter.
I doubt it. He wasn't expecting to be here that long.
I'll see you later, Langston.
I'll be here, like always.
I mean, unless he's like... Well, I was gonna say maybe he knows that an emergency can happen, so he has a pet sitter on speed dial, but he can't have a phone in here, so he wouldn't have a way to contact them unless he, like, stepped out of the oldest house. I don't even think they can bring it through the front door, right? Okay, that should be... That's everything that I know about, let's say. Okay, wait. I will go to Dimensional Research just to see if she says anything when we step into the chamber. And then that's it, for real.
Back in Ordinary, I burned all the slides except the one that led to Hedron. Trench used one of the burned ones to open a door to the Hiss. Did Darling hide the Hedron slide? Did Trench destroy it?
I would think Darling probably hid it, 'cause I think he got a sense that something was up with Trench beforehand. So I feel like he would probably hide it to safeguard it against Trench. Especially because, you know, if Trench was taken by something malevolent, then he could use the slide projector to like open up the doorway to wherever Hedron came from and then send the hiss in there. Or maybe Polaris is too strong for the hiss, so he wouldn't want to do that. I don't know, hard to say without having a lot more information. 'Cause they did say that Polaris had like stopped the hiss from taking over the plane where she came from, where all the sand is from. So maybe sending the hiss in there wouldn't really have worked. Go to Central Executive and straight ahead to the elevator. Oh no, we have to watch the video first.
Good to see you, man.
There's my picture on the wall. Okay. This is in the hotline, right? Yes. Faden rides the elevator.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Faden could hear it. A call. It was faint, reaching for her from a dark place. Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force at play here. It was changing things around her, subtle, trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss, so it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away, and made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a man desperate to escape. She sensed something else too, a hunger in the dark, not unlike the hostile resonance, waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation Sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
Interesting that his hair has grown out. Like there are clips of him with his hair short and then with his hair grown out, which makes it seem like he's been writing this bit about Jesse and the FBC for a couple years. Because when his hair being short, that's what it looked like when he entered the dark place. And then his long hair his hair grew out by the time of Alan Wake 2, which was, 14 years later? I think it was 14. Investigation Sector. Oh, fuck, I don't... Ugh. Immediately not about it. Oh, shit. So, I think this
Hello?
DLC is gonna be
Anyone here?
Guess not.
So I think this DLC will be a bit more aimed at horror. Not like too scary, but since Alan Wake is a horror game, they're probably gonna try and freak me out and...
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
And they will succeed in scaring me. I scare easily. Darling Investigation, compiled by Tim Spalder, Special Agent, by order of William Kirkland, Head of Investigations. Official findings report regarding Dr. Casper Darling, internal and confidential. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation D-84-5 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, Head of Research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Was it a shark, maybe? Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seem to be wholly unaware of such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's codename to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. Maybe this is talking about Hedron instead? The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into dimensional research. So maybe in the third paragraph, it's the majority of the research sector personnel seem to be aware of such an entity like Hedron contained there. One person confirmed its codename to be Hedron, maybe? And Casey inquiry to R. Dennis from D. Gleason, subject possible lead on the Wake case. Mr. Dennis, a request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sound familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with a writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. Special Investigator Gleason. Maybe he thinks that this Alex Casey could be a result of something paranatural. No new assets, though. Yet. Missing agents. Redacted 2017. Mr. Kirkland, here are the latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead, from the containment breach yesterday. Agent Jonathan Connor, Researcher Ezra Cruz, Agent Caroline Dempsey, Agent Lindsay Malcolm, Agent Charles Murray, Agent Derek Shaw. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You'll be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the fire break. They're lost, I'm afraid. Okay, so something got out and probably killed a bunch of people and destroyed a bunch of records. Man, I know it's supposed to be dark because that's like Alan's whole thing, but it is really, really dark.